Hello, Melton Guy here, looking at it in a different way, hopefully every day, but simply taking another look. I want to jump right into it today. These are pressing issues, these are pressing times. Everything seems to be urgent. But I want to first talk about a thing that has been with us for as long as I can remember, and as far as my great great granddaddy would say, as far as he could remember. Racism. Probably one of the ugliest words that has become part of the vernacular throughout the world, exists throughout the world. We're supposed to be a better part, or at least a part of that which is a higher thinking, a higher being that has educated itself to eliminate some of these things, but that has not been the case. Racism exists in this country as badly and as much as it does anywhere else. And that is a shame. I thought we were kind of on our way there for a little while. Now we add to that gay bashing. We got Jewish/Christian differences, anti-Semitism, kind of the same, but they are different. Now I'm going to ask you this question, and I'll answer. Did Donald Trump start these? No way. He didn't start these. Did they exist before Donald Trump? Oh, yes, they certainly did. So why do many of us think that of Donald Trump when these terms come to mind? Because beginning in 2016 officially, the following was again acceptable behavior and a normal language again, a normal part of our vernacular, and in some ways has become Americanized. MAGA. Need I say more about that? Racism, the N word, I thought might go away in my lifetime, and it has not. Colored people, though. I had not heard that term for a long, long time until after 2016. And yes, it is in direct relation with the election of Donald J. Trump and the onset of the MAGA cult. Gay bashing has seemed to be made okay. Got that judgment from MAGA because now it seems at least they think in their minds, they are an authority on who goes to heaven or hell, kind of like Hitler judging the Nuremberg trials. But even preachers, evangelists, Sunday school teachers, people I don't know, people I know, people I love, people I used to respect, people I would never believe could have been proselytized by an evil incarnate MAGA and cult leader taking hold of a once revered political party in this country. And now they're all of a sudden great theologians. The Jewish-Christian issues. We've always known the differences between these religions, the Jewish people and the Jewish faith and the Christian faith. I did think that we somewhat had come to a point that we understood that we're not talking about Jewish people and American people. We were talking about the different way we worship God. We've always known those differences. And we always knew of some problems. It didn't bother us a lot because they were going to be. We prayed to our God and we worshiped our God in different ways. But we in this country, not a lot anyway, didn't fight about it. And we certainly didn't hear regular sermons from Christian pulpits and would make you ask the question, where did the love of Jesus go? It was there at one time, I know for a fact, because I experienced it. But to be blunt, not anymore. Anti-Semitism is one of the silliest terms and most ridiculous ideas. Why is there anti-Semitism? Why do we choose somebody like the Jewish people because of their race, because of their religion? What? It does not make sense. It never has made sense to me. Anti-Semitism. We all see remember what it can do. So it's not an unimportant issue. But those things, those three, at least three, that opens up at least three groups for the American people, the MAGA Republicans, to hate. And I use that word, hate, because I believe with all my heart that's what is at the bottom of all this, is hate. I know that ignorance fires it and fuels it a lot of the time. Because if that didn't exist, a lot of the hate would go away. Because ignorance is the great tyrant much of the time. But it does beg this question. Just remembering what has happened, the bashing of the gays, the abortion issue, the black-white issue, the Hispanic, black/white issues, my God, they're all out there, but it does beg the question, who's next? Because it certainly feels like there must be somebody to hate. And there must be one group coming along to keep this thing going. So we ask ourselves, who is next? Let's put our heads together and have a serious hen and rooster party. You know, we could take all these issues back, as I said, much farther than 2016, but there is no need to do that. Although I would suggest and recommend you go to the library, go online, wherever you need to go, look into the past of Donald J. Trump when he was just simply an ordinary, dishonest, ruthless businessman. I use that term, businessman, extreme. No, I'm not even going to say that. The term is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to even think of him as a businessman because it kind of puts a blot on all the other businessmen who are out there hopefully trying to do it right. And let's begin here with his, again, I use this term loosely, his 4 years of presidency. Donald Trump couldn't be a mole on a president's behind. That administration, if you can call it that, at its very best, could be defined as perfunctory. Now, for you, the MAGA crowd, I'll spell it for you so it would be very easy to find in the dictionary. PERFUNCTORY. Yeah, get your dictionary out and look it up. I'll give you time. Hopefully, you have one at home. If not, go to the library and find the dictionary. That is, if it hasn't been banned. You see, my big problem with the goings on of today is we don't have discussions. And you know who we are when I say that. We don't have discussions. We are simply waiting for the next group to hate. I hate that I have come to believe that. But the handwriting, as the Bible says, is all over that wall. And when I say hate, and I say we all know the hated, because we, knowing who we are, say it right out loud, and sometimes right to their faces. No regard for society, no regard for groups of people who are different from whoever we are. We don't walk that same path. We don't go to that same church if you go to church. We believe things like women should have control of their bodies. And no man should never be able to tell a woman what she can do with her body. But all these things that makes us different, all these things that sometimes we even try to just keep quiet about, now the we being the MAGA and Trump Republicans, just said out loud, with no regard to who is being offended and whose life may or may not be destroyed by what you just said out loud with hate. Now, putting it in context, just let's paint this picture. You see if you can get this picture in your head. On one side, we have Donald Trump. On the other is Jesus, who the Trumpians, MAGAs, laud in their speeches. Now, I'm not saying that every Republican, because I still know some very good Republicans. I'm talking about this MAGA cult and Donald Trump. They're on one side. The MAGAs, of course, going to be there with Donald Trump because they always have to be close enough to kiss his whatever they kiss when he beckons them to do so. Now, Jesus is on the other side waiting for his people. Jesus is talking about how we should love one another, that we should give every human being a chance at life. And in the name of God, they're all loved the same and are equal in his eyes. And that let's be about our neighbor's business. Let's be about our country's spiritual affairs. Let's be about something other than power and hate. That's what's on the other side of Jesus. That's what he's talking about. Trump, they're talking about the things I've just mentioned. Gay bashing. Showing difference between people of race and color, creed, religion. Yes, religion. They're so guilty of that. But anyway, you hear all the normal things that comes out of the mouth of the MAGA cult leader, Donald Trump. All that you have bought into. And he's talking about those things. And Jesus is on the other side. By no means Democrats or independents, anybody else. Jesus. And then you walk in. And the question is, which side do you go? Do you go to someone who's maybe saying, or we know has said things referring to physically and or mentally handicapped as these people, holding the Bible in awkward places and in awkward ways, inappropriate times, in the hope of duping the people, making sexual, overt, subtle remarks about his own daughter. And you can't tell me you haven't heard that. If that didn't disgust you. Using some of the most vulgar words that I've heard, and usually referring to women or women's parts. Or is he talking about his proven history of financial building, the power that he has gained, without leaving out the theft and all the other things that took place? Will he talk about a phone call to Georgia that he says was perfect? You heard it, I heard it. You can believe what you want, but I know what I heard. I've heard it at least 200 times. Stolen documents, security files. Again, all there for the eye to see. You could have seen it many times. And oh, yeah, I almost forgot. A coup attempt on the United States of America. I'm not simply talking about saving democracy. I'm talking about saving your church, your people, you people. You people I used to sit next to in a little church somewhere, wherever you are. Mull these over in your mind and try to look at it in a different way. And I hope I'm not just preaching to the choir. I want people to hear what I'm saying and what others are saying is going on. If you don't want to listen to anybody in this country, tune in to stations across the world, news stations, and listen to what they're laughing about and joking about us. One even said, we can't even take America serious as we used to because Donald Trump is even in the picture. Think about it. You want to save democracy? You want to save the church? I, for one, do not believe you can do one without the other. You can't be successful with one and not the other. If the church fails, the country will fall. If the country falls, the church will fall. Consider this while you're sitting in your pew on Sunday with somebody 10 years from now who will say, oh, I remember sitting with Miss whoever in this little pew here. Such a precious memory. I'd hate for it to go away. Thank you, and God bless you. If you will, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you will, subscribe. I want to get out and reach people. I know there are others doing it, but I want to do my part. So if you will, subscribe and mention all these places that I've talked about to other people. Myself in Tennessee, Brando, Texas, Paul, Owen Morgan, Midas Network. And tell them to listen to Fox News. They need to know what's going on. I also want to mention my book. It's been out a couple of weeks now, entitled The Offspring of Ignorance by J. Milton Guy. I hope you have a great day and a great week until the next time I talk to you. And as I said, God bless you all. Thank you.